Oh, not the Miles thing again. The government nuked. What? A fun little American history story. Here we go. How long is this?
Mild stomping ground of North Carolina is known for many things. Beautiful mountains, relaxing beaches, methamphetamine abuse, and plenty of rich history dating back to before even the founding of this great nation. What you probably don't know, though, is that in the 1960s, the government accidentally nuked North Carolina.
How?
Twice.
How do you
military
accidentally
literally
nuke?
dropped 2 nukes on rural North Carolina by mistake, and somehow this isn't something that we all just know about. So in this video, I'm going to explain what happened, how it happened, and why the Tar Heel State isn't a giant Fallout server. So let's start from the beginning. It's the early 1960s, and I'm sure you're aware of what global crisis was center stage during this time period. That's right, John Lennon. But aside from that, we were in the middle of the Cold War. The United States was in a global standoff with the Soviet Union, trying to stop the spread of communism.
You know what I hate about the word Cold War? Is that I always thought that the Cold War was motherfuckers fighting in the snow, and it was nothing about that. I think I remember, like, I remember in school, a teacher tried to hit us with that, and I literally told him that, bro, when I got that shit so fucking wrong, bro, I was so fucking wrong. Like, I legit was picturing, like, motherfuckers in Russia, like, crawling through the snow in ghillie suits, sniping each other. And, yo, the way my teacher looked at me, they were like, I got no hope for this Dominican. Come on, man, it's called Cold War. It wasn't even cold. There was no snow. Why is it called cold? They should have just called it the Stalemate War. That's what it should have been called. The Stalemate War, not the fucking Cold War. I'm thinking that there's snow, icicles falling. They got fucking catapults with giant ice rocks and shit thrown at each other. Lies.
It was espionage, proxy wars, and scariest of all, both sides were stockpiling nuclear weapons
To be honest,
like it was going
I don't
out of
even
style.
remember
You
what
see,
the Cold War is on.
Neither do I. The Cold War, if I remember correctly, was I think like a stalemate between like the United States and I forgot who. Somebody correct me, chat. You guys are better than me. It was like a stalemate of like who's gonna attack first. Like I'm gonna press my button. No, you press it first. No, I'm gonna press it. I swear you guys are gonna dissolve. I'm gonna press the button first.
Wait until Retro finds out what a melting pot is.
Bro, a melting pot is a pot that's melting. Don't tell me it means something else. Shut up, man. Come on, you're messing with my brain.
see, after Oppenheimer did the whole I am become death, destroyer of worlds bit, apparently flabbergasted.
Oppenheimer, isn't that the guy from the... Ah! Ah!
At the idea that his big fucking bomb that was designed to do big fucking bomb things was going to be used against the people it was specifically designed to blow up. Nuclear weapons were emerging as the super weapon of a new age, a nuclear age, an age of fear. And again, the Beatles. So you would think that the United States government, now possessing a stockpile of these weapons that could potentially, you know, end all fucking life on the planet, would be treating these weapons with the utmost care, ensuring that these weapons would never be treated carelessly in a way that could cause catastrophe and endanger the lives of civilians.
Oh, you'd think so, wouldn't ya?
You don't know much about the government, dude.
Facts. The government...
Today we're talking about the time that America accidentally dropped a thermonuclear warhead on Greenland. Once upon a time in 1960, during the Cold War, America would receive intelligence that the Soviet Union had upwards of 300 intercontinental ballistic missiles. This meant that theoretically the Soviet Union had enough ICBMs to be able to take out every American airfield all at once, meaning that America would not be able to scramble planes to go and return the favor, which violates the entire concept of the Cold War. The Cold War only remained cold due to the concept of MAD, or mutually assured destruction.
Exactly. Because this is literally what the... Okay, this is great. You know why, chat? Because we're learning. So this was like literally the Cold War. It was just like two people being like, hey, I could blow you up. And the other guy's like, yo, you better not because I'll blow your ass up too. And then like nothing just happened. Oh no, account to be used because the enemy might retaliate. On no account to be used because the enemy might retaliate. Exactly. And then majority of the time it's just, I guess, people talking shit.
Now, there's no longer mutually assured destruction, so America is open to a new...
Yo, who y'all think would have won that shit low-key, though? Like, obviously, we're talking about the past, but, like, if the Cold War actually, like, popped off and they were like, yo, You said U.S. Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm crazy. He literally just said U.S. had so much fucking missiles. They said that they could have blown up every airfield and shit. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No. He literally said it. Yeah, he said the U.S. would have been crazy. The U.S. got German tech. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cause Germany, I'm not gonna lie, them motherfuckers were advanced. Germany was advanced. I feel like everybody was more advanced than the U.S. Like, everybody had better shit than us. We were just the guys that, like, try to copy off of everybody's homework.
Nuclear strike, and they need to do something immediately. Which is when the Air Force
US would have
chimed
won,
in
but
and
all
was like,
nuclear
hey, I have a
residuals
terrific idea. Let's take our new bomber,
would
the
suffer. Hell yeah.
B-52 Strato Fortress, aka the Buff, which clearly stands for Big Ugly Fat Fuck. We're gonna throw a 1.1 megaton thermonuclear warhead in the back, and then we're just gonna do hot laps around all of North America 24/7, all day, every day. And then if there is a nuclear strike, our nukes are already in the air. That plane will make a beeline to the USSR, and they'll return the favor. To which the US government is like, wow, what a terrific idea. I'll take 12. They are now going to take 12 B-52s with 1.1 megaton thermonuclear warheads on board and just do hot laps around all of North America.
What? This is what was happening? Are you telling me our tax dollars was paying for all these fucking ships flying around, wasting all this gas and shit, and just to have these fuckers on standby on constant oh nah. Classified information, by the way. What the fuck? This is stupid. How much money was wasted on this shit?
America every minute of every hour of every day between 1960 and 1968, and we're going to call this Operation Chrome Dome. For 8 fucking years, the U.S. government is going to have 12 Buffy the Forehead Slayers doing death donuts around North America, carrying 1.1 megaton thermonuclear warheads, okay? And then they went ahead and decided to call it Operation Chrome Dome, because nothing says we're about to put nuclear warheads on foreheads like the phrase Chrome Dome. You might as well call it Operation Glass your entire country. And I know what you're thinking, but wait a minute, the Cold War didn't end until 1991. Why on earth did this mission stop in 1968? Oh, it's because we accidentally dropped one of these nukes on Greenland. Yeah, while one of the B-52s was going around the east side of Canada, the heater malfunctioned, so one of the pilots had the brilliant idea that he was going to open up the vent to bleed heat directly from the engine manifold into the cabin to warm them up. Well, it proceeded to get so warm that it literally caught the upholstery of the chairs they were sitting on fire, lighting the entire cab on fire. All the pilots have to bail out. The plane goes down, then the conventional aspects of these nuclear bombs blow.
They got footage of this shit?
Up on impact. The nuclear part didn't explode, thankfully. However, the conventional explosion was enough to spew radioactive material all over the fucking place. Because of that, a bunch of people got exposed to radioactive material, sparking a huge political controversy because Denmark, the owner of Greenland, comes out and they're like, the fuck? You're not even supposed to be here with nuclear weapons. What is happening right now? To which America kind of just replied, I mean, yeah, but also, we're America and you're Denmark. Fucking get over it. And then pretty much nothing happened from there, other than America ended Operation Chrome Dome. Thankfully, however, this was the only incident in 8 years. Well, except for that time we dropped a couple on North Carolina. And then that other time we dropped a couple on Maryland. And then that time we dropped some in California. And then there was that whole thing where
there was times where they dropped some in Cali?
Dropped some on Spain, but I think Brandon's going to tell you about those. So thanks for watching. Quack Bang out.
Thanks, Nick. I'll take it from here. That's my buddy, the Fat Electrician. He's one of actually my personal favorite creators.
Nah, I actually like how he explained that shit. He did a great job explaining.
And a great channel for those of you guys who also love.
I might have to sub to him.
As for the Spain thing, yeah, we did do that. Dropped a couple of nukes on Spain, contaminated the area with plutonium.
What?
Damn, America was always stupid.
Yo, for real, man. Thank you for the 100 biddies, Mojaz. Contaminated Earth is result of 1966 air crash involved in the B-52 loaded with hydrogen bombs. Bro, they had hydrogen bombs in that shit? "50 years ago today." Damn.
I've learned more here than in school.
True.
Thanks American education system for fucking us over.
Yo, for real. We just learned more on YouTube. YouTube is just the wave, bruh. YouTube is the wave. Damn, bro. Thank you, Akuro. That's insane.
And then lost to fourth in the ocean for a while. The 60s were not a particularly good time for some of our diplomatic relationships.
The 60s weren't good to you, were they?
But anyhow, this
The
video
60s
is
are
specifically
terrible.
about the North Carolina incident because, to me personally, I think it's one of the wilder ones. Maybe we'll talk about some of the other ones later. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. After all, it's about what you guys want to see. Anyhow, back to it's up to you.
What that said, 1950, there have been 32 nuclear weapon. What? They had 32 nuclear weapon accidents known as broken arrows. A broken arrow is defined as an unexpected event involving nuclear weapons that result in an accidental launching, fiery, detonating, theft, or loss of the weapon. To date, 6 nuclear weapons have been lost and never be. What? So you tell me that there's 6 nukes around the world that we just don't know where the fuck they at? Where are they? The ocean? Not 32. No. There's 6 that have been lost and never recovered. 32. There was 32 accidents, but there's 6 that's never been found. So where the fuck are they?
You guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. After all, it's about what you guys want to see.
You said I hope
Anyhow,
they're in the
back to
ocean.
story
Hell
time.
yeah.
So the year is 1961, around midnight of January 23rd. A Boeing B-52 Stratofortress was flying over eastern North Carolina. This B-52 was based out of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. The name of the base is legitimately Seymour Johnson. If you've never heard of it, you've just made the same joke in your head that everyone who was stationed there has made at some point. Anyhow, the payload that this particular B-52 was carrying was 2 Mark 39 nuclear bombs. There's some pretty serious hardware. These things weigh in at about 6,500 pounds
Wow.
apiece, or approximately 4 times as much as the average Austin feminist. These bombs had an explosive yield of 3.
Yo! Yo! What was that comment?
8 megatons. Doesn't sound too
Yo!
crazy,
That
right?
was
For those
wild.
who don't know, 1 megaton is equal to
Oh my
1
God.
million tons of TNT.
That was so unexpected. I did not expect that comment. Damn. Nah, he must have had some beef with some feminists or something.
Million pounds, 1 million tons of TNT. The bomb that the United States dropped on Hiroshima that, depending on the source, killed around 100,000 people was only 15 kiloton. That means that the bombs we accidentally dropped on North Carolina were about 250 times more powerful than the one we used to fucking end World War II. And this B-52 was carrying fucking 2 of them.
2?
Something worth nuking once. So back on the ranch, the B-52 was getting an aerial refueling. Aerial refueling, if you're not familiar, is when a mommy plane and a daddy plane.
That is the craziest thing. I think I seen something about this when I was younger, when I was like in high school, and I could never believe that they do this kind of crazy shit. They refuel each other's planes in mid-air like this? How?
Plane love each other very much, so the daddy plane, yeah, basically it's a way of transferring fuel from one plane to the other to make sure that the plane that's being refueled doesn't have to land. It can just keep flying. But it was during this aerial refueling that the commander of the B-52 was informed that there was a fuel leak. Ground control was immediately informed of this leak, and the B-52 was instructed to abandon the aerial refueling and then go into a holding pattern off the coast of North Carolina to burn off the majority of its fuel. The only thing worse than an emergency landing of a giant aircraft is the emergency landing of a giant aircraft
Holding
with
a nuke.
100,000 pounds of
Yeah.
fuel on it. Suboptimal.
Well,
That
and
if something bad
it
happens
having a
while it's
nuke.
in the air and it goes down off the coast. So you get more of like a Spain situation and less of Nagasaki Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. The only problem was when they got into position to begin this holding pattern, they realized that their problem had worsened. They had lost something along the lines of 37,000 pounds of fuel in
How?
3 minutes.
How?
They were basically leaking 2 Ford F-150s weight in fuel every 60 seconds. Yes, Americans will use literally anything but the metric system. The crew knew that this was not sustainable and the plane was going down, so they tried turning back around.
Bro, how?
The only thing that these men wanted was to get back to Seymour Johnson. I'm sorry, I'm done, I promise. It quickly
Seymour
became
Johnson.
clear that this plane was not going to make it back to base. This is when they decided to abandon the plane and bail out. Out of the original crew of 8, 1 didn't survive the parachute landing, and 2 died in the crash, leaving 5 total survivors.
What?
Interestingly enough, the third pilot, Lieutenant Adam Maddox, became the only person to ever successfully bail out of the top hatch of a B-52 without an ejection seat and survive. Not only did he...
How did he even get out then? He got out from the top of a B-52 with no ejection seat? How? How?
survive, he went on to live a long, happy life. The plane itself ended up breaking up in mid-air about 1,000 to 2,000 feet above the ground. This left a debris field over a roughly 2 square mile.
You say he jumped out, but with what door? Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, with what hatch? Like, they made it sound like he jumped out the glass. I'm like, how? Was there a door in the glass? Or did he just open up, like, one of the side doors and just, like, leap out?
Area around Faro, North Carolina, which is like 20 minutes northeast of Goldsboro. The debris, of course, included, well, the 2 devices specifically designed to level entire cities. So what happened to the 2 nukes? Good news and fucking horrifying news. The good news is, miraculously, neither bomb detonated. One of them was able to parachute in a controlled manner down to the ground.
Wow.
And was found standing upright with his parachute caught in a tree.
Wow.
The other, in a less controlled manner, slapped the earth at Mach fuck and buried itself. Thankfully, without detonating or even setting off the conventional explosives within the bomb itself. So neither bomb exploded.
It buried
and no
itself into
innocent
the
people
earth?
on the ground.
So that means that shit fell down hard. And if it buried itself into the earth, that means that shit fell down so fast and so strong that it, like, went into the soil. But it never detonated? Dude, you know who stopped that detonation? God. I'ma say it. It was God, bruh.
Were hurt.
Ain't no
big deal,
way.
right? Well, that leads us to the fucking horrifying part that I had mentioned earlier. This is the part that, for me, reading into this, made this particular case so interesting. Based on the information that was recently declassified in 2013, we now know that both bombs almost detonated, and pretty much by all means should have leveled that part of eastern North Carolina. You see, as you might imagine, there are a number of safety mechanisms on a nuclear bomb. Depending on which report you read, there were either 4 or 6 safety mechanisms on these particular bombs. Why there's a discrepancy on that? Your guess is as good as mine. Here's the fucked part, though. All of the bomb safety mechanisms were tripped and ready to blow, except for one. Now that is an oh fuck moment.
That's
But
crazy.
Don't worry, it gets worse. The one safety that didn't fail was different on each bomb. That means there wasn't just one Chad well-built safety mechanism on this thing and a bunch of jank ones. These 2 doomsday devices didn't go off because of fucking luck. That's like 2 people playing Russian roulette with 5 out of 6 cylinders
Yeah.
loaded, and somehow both survive. Anyhow, the first bomb that was standing upright with the parachute and all that was basically intact, so that was an easy recovery. So the recovery team was able to disarm it and send it on its way to... I actually have no idea where you send a slightly used nuke that just survived a crash landing.
Yeah.
But the government took it somewhere safe, because you don't want to lose one of those. Again, the second bomb was a different story. It had broken apart in impact and was stuck in a pretty deep hole that it dug by lawn darting itself into the earth. It was so deep that the tail was the first part that was found, and that was found 20 feet down. And in digging around
20
trying to find
feet?
the rest of it, they accidentally hit an underground water reservoir, which couldn't have made their job easier. Upon finding the majority of the second bomb, Lieutenant Jack Revell, who's the EOD officer in charge of recovery at the time, was quoted as saying, "Until my death, I will never forget hearing my sergeant say, 'Lieutenant, we found the arm safe switch.' And I said, 'Great.' He said, 'Not great. It's on arm.'" So, yeah, that's pretty sketch. I figure now's a pretty good time to give you a little context for where we're talking about here.
Dude, that's
in the year
scary.
1960, around 28,000 people lived in the city of Goldsboro alone. Had these devices gone off and leveled the town, instantly the death count would have been 10 times that of 9/11. And most locals don't even know that they were one sketchy rocker switch failure away from it. So, like most Cold War stories of a catastrophic government fuck-up, we have a bit of a government cover-up story. Because, of course. So, the second bomb was never fully recovered. The thermonuclear stage of the bomb was basically left intact, although they did take the pit, or the core. This is the part that contains the uranium or plutonium that makes the nuke do the nuke thing. So with the core in hand, the government just called it good. Left the rest of a nuclear weapon just chilling in the ground.
I
Just a
mean,
reminder, a lot of things I'm talking about here.
I mean, they took out the important part. They took out the part that makes it go, you know, white flash, explosion, shockwave, radiation. They took out the fucked up part. So if they leave the rest of whatever the fuck it was left in there, it should. I feel like nothing's gonna happen if the rest is in there. They took out the most important part, was the radioactive bullshit.
Here were just declassified like 10 years ago, letting it slip during the Cold War that the feds were losing nukes routinely and then just leaving half of them around because they got tired of digging. Not a great look. The
Yeah, it
Army
isn't.
did, however, purchase a 400-foot diameter easement on the property and forbid any structure from being built on top of it. Although they did say that the
Me
area...
on my way
said
to
he-
find the location of the second bomb to cause a mass genocide. Clueless.
Yo, Lucky Noah, what's crazy is that he just said, I think he bought that land. Hold on, let me go back. Thank you, Noah. Thank you. He said, did he say he bought that land?
The Army did, however, purchase a 400-foot diameter...
Oh no, I'm bugging. He said the Army. I'm tripping. I was like, how the fuck he got money to buy that piece of land with like a military shit? Yeah, it's definitely government property.
easement on the property and forbid any structure from being built on top of it. Although they did say that the area is okay for farming. Farming on top of an almost live nuclear weapon. I mean, this isn't nearly as bad as like Chernobyl levels of government cover-up, but it's alarmingly similar in...
It's just scary because you think a lot about what if. Like, there were so many what ifs that could have happened in that scenario. That's why it's scary to just think about it.
Down. Now, this last bit I absolutely have to mention because I think it's fucking hilarious. It's like the perfect cherry on top of this story. This is the historical marker that marks this incident. This
This is like their memorial stamp. Bro, they couldn't even fully write down the word miles and south. You said I'm blocking? Hold on. Bro, this is goofy. They literally just had this sign, like they don't even got a statue or like a real memorial.
is fucking hilarious. This was almost the worst nuclear disaster in human history. And the only reason you would ever know it happened is this little plaque that makes it sound like it is absolutely not as big of a deal
Yeah. That's the thing, man. They make it seem like it's so minuscule.
as it definitely was. So yeah, that's how an entire section of North Carolina almost received a Darwin Award at the hands of the federal government. The same government that still has control over our nuclear arsenal and loses these things so often that they have a fucking term for it. Broken arrow. More like missing doomsday device, but you know, hey, cool name. I know it's not our usual format, but I love learning about history almost as much as I love being able to share cool parts of that history with you guys. If you want to see more of this style of content, let me know. I think it's really fun. And if
You see, bro? Shout out to him, chat. Drop love to his video. If history teachers were like this, you know how much more I would have learned, bro? Instead, in school, guess what? I had an old-ass history teacher. Old as shit. Boring as fuck.